what I like to do is play the ball up just slightly forward in my stance, about right here off the left heel to inside the toe right there, okay? Just about like this here, all right? Buck, the
Perfect.
reason being is?
Well, we want optimum launch angle and we want optimum spin. So we want to make sure he gets behind the ball more so he creates more leverage. Now, after we go into ball position, the second thing we're going to talk about is stance width. For Niall, who creates a lot of speed in his swing, we have to have balance. So one of the things in balance, we have to work on stance width. So why don't you tell us what you do for your balance and your stance width?
I try to, first off, I always have an open stance, about 3 to 6 degrees open, but I try to have a little more of a wide stance. I know you've always been told to have shoulder width stance. I like to get mine just a little slightly wider stance than my shoulders. And that's because I really want to get maximum power in these shots.
To create leverage, I think one of the things this a misnomer is that you turn to create the weight shift, and you don't. You shift to create the turn. So in any other sport, if you were hitting a baseball or a tennis ball or a hockey puck or anything else, to create leverage, you've got to load. So by getting a little bit wider, he's going to load his weight a little bit better. Now, in saying that, I want to make sure he doesn't get outside of his feet. When he loads, I want to make sure he loads inside of his feet. By getting wider, it's much easier. If he gets too narrow, go ahead and step into a narrow stance just for a second. If he gets too narrow, the tendency for Niall is to get off the ball too far, and he can't stay inside of his feet. So by getting just a little wider, go ahead and let's get back to your normal stance. When he feels that first push of the golf swing, he's going to feel like he's getting into his right side. So the stance width is critical for loading the club and loading the body. Okay, now we're going to talk about balance and posture from the down the line view. So let's walk around this way, Niall. So let's say our target line is over the camera here, so this is the ball flight. Now you were talking about your stance as far as aim point, so tell us again why you aim a little bit left with your legs and your feet.
Okay, the reason being I want to aim 3 to 6 degrees with an open stance. I want to hit the ball at a certain target. I pick a target, I set up for my stance to be just slightly open to that target, and the reason being is that if I set up to the ball and I've got an open stance with a wide stance of about 3 to 6 degrees, and we can always lay down one of these orange markers to kind of give you a demonstration, that's about 3 degrees. I'm good with that, okay? And my objective is to be able to take the club back on the path that Buck and I talk about with that nice open stance. If you could see my center of balance never leaves the inside of my right foot. So I'm able to create a lot of power and a lot of leverage and come down the line from that inside path and sweep that ball off the tee, and I'm able to hit my shot at my target and still hit that nice high tight draw with that open stance. As long as my club is coming in on that inside path to the ball, I'm able to make that move.